Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? We do have the first addition to Kellen Moore's staff that isn't a retained member of the staff, which we knew some of those already. And it's a familiar name to, it should be a familiar name to Saints fans. The Saints have a Haslett working for New Orleans again. This time it's Chase Haslett. That's Jim's son. So Chase Haslett, Jim's son, has been hired as the tight ends coach. We know that they've retained Keith Williams and they've hired offensive line coach Brendan Nugent. So these are the first few staff members that we know of for Kellen Moore. Chase Haslett is an interesting one because there's a lot of connectivity here. Still a relatively young guy. Chase Haslett overlapped in Dallas with Kellen Moore from 2020 through 2022. At that time, Haslett was the Cowboys quality control coach. When Kellen Moore left for the 2023 season, went to the Chargers, Haslett took on the title of tight ends coach and became the passing game coordinator in 2024. So he's ascended there in Dallas, but now with Kellen Moore having an opportunity to run his own organization, he's bringing Chase Haslett with him. So I think the Cowboys tie is an interesting one because what we're going to see with Kellen Moore, I think we should see with Kellen Moore, is as a guy that's 36 years old, youngest head coach in the NFL, first-time head coach, I think he needs people around him that he trusts, that he can confide in, that will be honest with him, and people that maybe know how he's going to work as well. So when I also look at Chase Haslett, there's also the role he's going to be playing on the staff, coaching the tight ends. And functionally, that's a room that is going to get overhauled. So remember, this season you really had three tight ends. It was Taysom Hill, it was Foster Moreau, and Juwan Johnson. Well, Taysom suffered the knee injury. It's very likely we don't see Taysom again. Let me rephrase this. It's possible we don't see Taysom in a Saints uniform again. Like, his time as a Saint could be over. If he is back in whatever capacity, you're probably not going to see him until October, maybe November, coming off the injury. Juwan Johnson is a free agent. So I don't know what the market is going to be for Juwan Johnson, but we'll know here in a month when free agency opens if Juwan Johnson's back or if he signs somewhere else. So it's possible Foster Moreau could be the only tight end on your roster as you open free agency here. So they've got work to do there, be it draft, be it adding a tight end in free agency, whatever it's going to be. They've got work to do there at that spot. So Chase Haslett has his work cut out for him. Then if you also consider, how Kellen Moore uses the tight end, this year you had a great one in Dallas Goedert. Right? So it's easy to feature a tight end when you've got a great tight end. And Goedert this year ended up playing at 42 catches for 496 yards and 2 touchdowns. But remember, Philly was bottom of the league in passing. They were 29th in the NFL in passing offense. A big part of that is because they were second in the NFL in rushing offense. They leaned on Saquon Barkley. But when they needed Goedert, he was really good, averaging only 12 yards a reception. He's a very good pass-catching tight end. Now, the year before in L.A. with the Chargers, it was a little bit of a different reality for Kellen Moore because you didn't have the talent there. Gerald Everett was the tight end. He caught 51 balls for 411 yards. You also had Donald Partham there, caught 27 passes. But if you combine the two of them, those two tight ends combined for 78 receptions and just under 700 yards. So, as I look at it, and then, of course, Dalton Schultz with the Cowboys. Kellen Moore has utilized the tight end. Statistically, it may not have looked like it with Dallas Goedert this year just because they didn't throw as much, just because of how the offense was built. But he's had good tight ends in Dallas and in Philly, and the year in L.A., the combined the two tight ends were really productive. So it's kind of an indication that Kellen Moore is willing and going to use and feature the tight end in his offense. So that's a spot where you may prioritize. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that you're looking at the top of the draft for tight end as well, if you think there's great value there. You know, if Tyler Warren from Penn State is there at 9, he's hanging out on the board at 9, and you want to pull the trigger there, and you think you've got a guy like Brock Bowers. Well, Brock Bowers just had an epic season, went over 1,000 yards receiving as a rookie in Las Vegas. So, I mean, do you trust your scouting? Part of it. But also, how much of a focus does Kellen Moore want to put on the tight end spot? All that to say, we're probably looking at the Chase Haslett hire and cracking jokes or whatever because Jim Haslett and it's his son and all that stuff. But that's a spot where it's a position group that's getting an overhaul. You could very well invest a high draft pick at tight end, and it's a position that clearly Kellen Moore wants to feature in the offense. So, yes, this is an important hire, and I hope he does a good job, man. This guy who's got familiarity with Kellen Moore, we'll see how it goes.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.